Aloha. Brought to you huh, by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. There's recon today. Training camps are in session. With new stories come new lineup possibilities as we try to find 9 cards. 9 cards that will make us $1 million richer. Let's automatically plug in the cheapest defense and start making some fucking lineups. As you know how we like to do it. We like to do it by team, by rung, by story. We don't like boring, fucking, generic, stupid stories. We're looking for something unique. 24 teams to work with on a 12-game slate. All right. Let's do this. Starting with Josh Allen. Anything new on Josh Allen? Josh Allen has been building chemistry with new wide receiver DJ Moore early on in training camp. During the return of the blue and red practice Saturday, Allen connected with Moore on a stride on a deep ball down the middle on the field for a 50-yard gain. Later, in a 2-minute drill, Allen and Moore again twice to move the offense past midfield. Allen has fallen short of 4,000 passing yards in each of the last 2 seasons, which coincided with Stephon Diggs' exit from the team. But prior to that, the quarterback racked up at least 4,200 yards through all 4 consecutive campaigns working with Diggs. By acquiring Moore this offseason, the Bills have increased the odds that Allen could get back to that threshold with more of an established wide receiver on the roster. Well, hot damn. The biggest issue is they're going up against the Texans. The Texans are pretty goddamn good. But right now, Josh Allen's our guy. Josh Allen, somebody's got to take Josh Allen off the pedestal to be our $1 million quarterback. Will it be Joe fucking Burrow? Joe Burrow, many of those starters are scheduled to play in Thursday's preseason opener against Detroit. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Dexter Lawrence are also expected to play. So it sounds like all healthy starters will get some action. Last year, Burrow played 2 drives in Cincinnati's preseason opener, completing 9 of 10 passes for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the 2024 preseason opener, he played a single 12-play drive, which also ended in a touchdown pass. The fuck cares? Why do they give me stats from fucking last year? 2 years of fucking preseason? Fuck you. Get out, Burrow. Lamar Jackson. Coach Jesse Minter noted Tuesday that Jackson and other key starters won't play in Saturday's preseason opener against the Eagles. There's little to gain by putting Jackson in harm's way during the preseason, and there's a pretty solid chance he'll be held out of the team's other 2 exhibition contests as well. Tyler Huntley, Skylar Thompson, and Joe Fagano are candidates to lead the offense this weekend against the Eagles. There's nothing special there. Jalen Hurts. Somebody's got to take out Josh Allen. Hurts has started to establish a good rapport with offseason addition receiver Dontavian Wicks at training camp. We read this. Did we read this already? Yeah, Hurts has been a long target of criticism when it comes to his passing ability. Departure of A.J. Brown. Wicks is let's read it again for the fuck of it. Hurts has established a good rapport with this offseason addition wide receiver Dontavian Wicks at training camp. Hurts has been a target of criticism when it comes to his passing ability. And with the departure of A.J. Brown this offseason, he will have to prove himself with some new faces in the wide receiver room. The Eagles acquired 4th-year pro Dontavian Wicks from Green Bay in April, and Wicks has emerged as the frontrunner to operate as Philly's number 2 in 2026. Hurts and Wicks spent a lot of time together on the field during the offseason, with Wicks... Yeah, I read this already, and I ended up putting Wicks in the fucking lineup. It's old news. Old fucking news. Jay Daniels has been elite during training camp, right? Yes, we read this. We almost took him But we ended up liking Bryce Young better. That was close. The kid Caleb. Caleb Williams will be without burden for the entirety of the preseason, but the Bears believe the second-year wide receiver will be available for Week 1 at Carolina. Williams is entering his second season under head coach Ben Johnson, his third NFL campaign overall, and his number 2 option at wide receiver Luther Burden had just suffered a groin injury Saturday, will sideline him for the entirety of the preseason. That sucks. The quarterback completed 53 passes to Burden for 718 yards and 2 touchdowns over 15 regular season contests and 2 postseason games this past season. Williams has substantial rapport with wide receiver 1 Romeo Dunze, but he'll now have to learn on offseason addition Khalif Raymond, third-round pick Xavier Thomas, and second-year pro J.D. Walker at practice in Burden's absence. All right, that's not better than Josh Allen. We're looking for somebody better than Josh Allen. Oh, that's good water. Justin Herbert going up against our $2,000 Arizona D. Herbert has been sharp and on target with his receivers in training camp, seemingly growing more comfortable in Mike McDaniel's offense. One of the priorities that Herbert took during the offseason was to improve his footwork, which has seemingly paid off through the first 2 weeks of training camp. Entering his 7th NFL season, Herbert has looked comfortable with his timing and McDaniel's scheme, connecting on receivers early and in space. It's unclear whether Herbert will play in Thursday's exhibition contest against the Texans, but the Oregon product should see some reps in preseason games to flesh out the details for the Chargers' regular season opener against the Cardinals on Sunday, September the 13th. Nothing special there. Yeah, they're talking about Josh Allen dropping a 50-yard bomb and the fact that the last time he had a de facto number 1, he popped off for over 4,000 yards. That's what you got to beat for the $1 million lineup. Head coach Dan, we read this. He ain't playing. Olga News. Baker Mayfield, what do we got, kid? Head coach Todd Bowles said Tuesday that Mayfield will be rested for the preseason opener Friday versus the Jets. Bowles indicated the Bucs have been planning for backup Jake Browning to direct the first-team offense Friday, but Browning's status is now in question after he appeared to suffer a back injury during Tuesday's session. Mayfield didn't see any action during the 2025 preseason, and a similar approach with the veteran signal caller may seem likely in 2026. The 31-year-old is heading into his 4th season with Tampa Bay on an expiring contract and will be aiming for a bounce-back campaign after noticing a steep decline in his passing efficiency and touchdown total between 2024 and 2025, in large part due to injuries that accumulated over the course of last season. In large part due to injuries that accumulated over the course of last season. You know what? I don't need to smoke weed. I can hang out at that T-bar. I can play chess. I could read. I could enjoy my life. Yeah. When we're done with this damn thing. You never knew. Mayfield didn't see any action in the 2025 preseason. Okay, passing efficiency. Yeah, again, it's a garbage thing. He's waiting for a contract. I like the other card better. Sorry, temporary stone for like 5 seconds there. Mayfield didn't see any action. Signal caller, heading into his 4th season on an expiring contract, aiming for a bounce-back campaign after noticing a steep decline in his efficiency and touchdown total. Injuries. Listen, the last card was a lot better, but we're not taking him this time. Right now, it's still all about Josh motherfucking Allen. Trevor Lawrence. Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen said Tuesday that Lawrence and the other team's established starters will sit out Saturday's preseason opener versus the Saints. The Jaguars don't plan on having Lawrence see much action in their final two exhibition contests either. Departure from now that he's been utilized in his previous 5 preseasons. The quarterback doesn't believe a lack of preseason reps will affect his preparation heading into Week 1, especially now that he has a year under his belt in Cohen's offensive system. The 26-year-old has had the best fantasy season of his career in 2025, setting personal bests in touchdown passes, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns. Best fantasy season of his career. Same issue as he's going up against a good D. Cleveland. So it's Trevor Lawrence or Josh Allen. Had the best fantasy season of his career. 42. They're saying Josh Allen having DJ Moore will get him to that number that this guy already is at. But again, it's Cleveland. But again, they're playing the Texans. So you're getting the same performance for $1,200 cheaper. A year under his belt in Cohen's system, the best fantasy season of his career. You got to keep it for now. Keep them both in the mix. They're both here in the red. So they're both playing good defenses. So somebody might beat them both out. Jordan Love is scheduled to play in Thursday's preseason game at Pittsburgh, though Packers coach Matt LaFleur said Tuesday that he reserves the right to change his mind. If Love does end up playing, history suggests it'll be his lone appearance of the preseason. He may be stuck with a mixed crew of starters and backups, given that Josh Jacobs, Tucker Kraft, and Jaden Reed and Matt Golden all have missed time recently. Oh, good God, it's boring. You're boring. Which brings us to Tyler Shook. Shook and most of the Saints' other starters are unlikely to play in Saturday's preseason game against the Jaguars. Saints coach Kellen Moore said Tuesday's joint practice with the Jaguars will be where Shook and other key players will get their chance to square off with opponents. Moore did leave the door open for borderline starters to suit up, but it sounds like Shook, Chris Olave, Travis Etienne will all be held out. Again, just the same boring story. Right now, the story I like the best is still Josh Allen. The 50-yard bomb. He's going to get himself a number one back and go off. I'm almost liking it better than Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence coming off the best fantasy year of his career. But last year means shit. It's all about week one. They're not talking about him dropping any bombs. So you know what? Trevor Lawrence is out. I like Josh Allen better than Trevor Lawrence. So right now, Josh Allen is still the guy to beat. The Vikings have named Kyler Murray their starting quarterback. The former Cardinal had been competing with J.J. McCarthy for the assignment, but Murray will become the team's fourth Week 1 starter in the last 4 years. McCarthy is slated to serve as the top backup, while Murray will helm the offense that includes talented pass-catching nucleus of wideouts Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, as well as tight end T.J. Hawkinson. Well, good for you, Kyler. He's been named the starter. I already have him in a $1 million lineup, so again, they didn't really add anything too exciting other than saying he's the starter. Moving on to Daniel Jones. Jones won't play in the preseason. By all accounts, Jones' recovery from a torn right Achilles that he suffered in Week 14 last season has gone well. But the Colts will play it safe with their starting quarterback. Anthony Richardson will start Thursday's preseason opener against the Patriots and play the first half, while Riley Lenny will book the second half, an arrangement that is in line to be reserved in the team's second exhibition tilt against Atlanta. Again, they're talking about other fucking quarterbacks. Malik Willis. Head coach Jeff Hafley said he's planning on having Willis play in the Dolphins' preseason opener Friday versus the Commanders. Hafley could reverse course and hold Willis out Friday if the signal caller gets sufficient reps and looks good during Wednesday's joint practice with the Commanders. But as the first-year starter on a new team, it probably wouldn't hurt the 27-year-old to get him more snaps in the preseason opener, because Dolphins offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick's scheme includes many concepts similar to the ones Willis learned under Packers coach and play caller Matt LaFleur. The quarterback has seemingly had comfortable transition to Miami and has been building chemistry with his receiving corps through the first 2 weeks of camp, according to the South Florida Southern Sentinel. The upcoming joint practice will be the first major test Willis has faced this summer, as he's generally received positive reviews during camp practices, while matching up against a beleaguered Dolphins defense. That's a lot of words for nothing. They're saying that he's coming to town and we're thinking he's going to be good. We're hoping he's going to be. There's no magic there as compared to Josh Allen dropping a 50-yard bomb to fucking DJ Moore. Nothing new on Aaron Rodgers. His stories are old. He's out. CJ Stroud. Bills' opponents. Stroud is among the Texans starters not expected to play in Thursday's preseason opener against the Chargers. Thursday's contest is likely to feature rookies and journeyman players trying to make the Texans' 53-man roster rather than established starters. In that scenario, Stroud's next chance to see preseason action will occur August 20th against the Raiders. Davis Mills and Graham Mertz are available to handle quarterback reps against Los Angeles on Thursday. That's again, nothing with nothing. Nothing with nothing. Bryce Young is old news. We've already taken him. Which brings us to Mr. Cam Ward. Ward and other starters are scheduled to play in Thursday's preseason opener against San Francisco. The combination of a young quarterback and a new coaching staff could lead to more playing time than usual in the preseason. Still, there's no guarantee of Ward playing more than a series or two on Thursday night. Again, boring. Boring recon we've got here. Jacoby Brissett. Coach Mike LaFleur said Tuesday that Brissett and the rest of the Cardinals starters will play one or two possessions during Thursday's preseason game in Vegas. LaFleur held out Arizona's starters last Thursday's All-of-Fame game versus the Panthers. But Brissett and the rest of the first-team offense are slated to get more runtime this week. Brissett will likely be throwing passes to the Cardinals' top skill position talents, including rookie first-round running back Jeremiah Love, wide receivers Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson, and Trey McBride. Okay. But again, it's just generic shit we're reading right now. Kirk Cousins returned to the scuffle after scuffling with fucking Max Crosby. Anything new on Mendoza? Mendoza will play. Okay, good. This is new. Raiders coach Clint Kubiak said Tuesday that Mendoza will play in Thursday's preseason opener against Arizona and may even get a few snaps at the starting offensive line. It sounds like Kirk Cousins will make the start, but Mendoza could enter the game early on, and he's expected to play a lot this preseason, if not necessarily Thursday night. Kubiak hasn't announced his Week 1 starter, but Cousins has been treated as the starter throughout camp. Oh, those Atlanta boys. Tua will start Friday's preseason opener against Denver, but Coach Kevin Stefanski isn't ready to name a Week 1 starter. All right, to get the fuck out of here. Get out. Get out. The Schwan will start Saturday's preseason game against Chicago. Coach Todd Monken relayed Wednesday that whoever starts Cleveland's preseason opener versus Watson and Shador will play the first half while the other entering the contest afterwards. Then the order will switch for the team's second exhibition contest against the Bills. Watson and Sanders have been alternating days where gives a shit. They're both fucking terrible. It leaves us two quarterbacks. Josh Allen and Geno Smith. Do we go ultimate contrarian here? Coach Aaron Glenn noted Tuesday the Jets started included a group that includes Smith will play in Friday's preseason opener against the Buccaneers. It remains to be seen how much work Smith will see Friday, but after the veteran quarterback gets in his reps, Cade Klubnik, Brady Cook, and Bailey Zapp will are candidates to see action against Tampa Bay. As the coming campaign approaches, Smith is slated to lead a New York offense paced by top running back Breece Hall, which features a diverse pass-catching group that includes wide receivers Garrett Wilson, Adonai Mitchell, and Omar Cooper, as well as Kenyon Sadiq and Mason Taylor. You save a lot of money, but that's, again, it's just another... Every single card was generic. Every card was he's going to play or he's not going to play in the preseason, whereas Josh Allen is dropping a 50-yard bomb. Ladies and gentlemen, our starting quarterback for this here $1 million team, Josh motherfucking Allen. Let's go get ourselves 2 running backs, shall we? Colombido. Gotcha. Everybody's covered? Nope. Where's Miami at? Vegas. Good. All right. Mm. Oh, that water. All right. Nothing new on Gibbs. Oh, let's get Houston in there. That's nothing new on Gibbs. Nothing new on Bijan. Nothing new on Taylor. The 3 Bulls. We got some new recon on James Cook. What do we got? Bills offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael didn't rule out the possibility of Cook having more involvement as a pass catcher in 2026. Anytime to get the ball in Cook's hands, you have an opportunity for a big play. I think you can bring value not only in the run game, but the pass game as well. Between 17 regular season and 2 postseason contests in 2025, Cook took on 348 carries, handily surpassing his previous career high of 273 totes over 19 contests in 2023. The running back ended up leading the league in rushing with 1,600 yards, but head coach Joe Brady has already mentioned the possibility of taking some of that workload off the 26-year-old's plate. One way the Bills could limit the pounding Cook takes between the tackles without sacrificing his overall touches would be to increase his involvement in the passing game, where he's averaged 7.1 yards per target during his 4-year career. Ty Johnson has carved out a no-rules catching specialist over the past 3 seasons, but he exited Monday's practice with a knee issue. May end up taking on more third down snaps out of necessity if Johnson's injury lingers into the regular season. See, again, nice, long, fucking interesting card. They're adding to him. They're saying, well, we're not going to pound him as much with the run game, but we're going to get him in the pass game. And his fucking backup that's supposed to be doing the third down plays is fucking injured. Is your top guy right now. Do we handcuff Josh Allen and James Cook? Chase Brown, we already, nothing new on Chase Brown. Devin Achane. Dolphins head coach Jeff Hafley said Monday the Rich Eisen show that Achane may have games with 40 touches this year. 40 touches. The number is an exaggeration, but Hafley did make it clear he'll keep Achane busy. Joking there might be some games where I have to pick him up and carry him back to the locker room because he's going to be so goddamn tired. Hafley also mentioned that the running back did not want to see him tapping his helmet for a breather, to which Achane responded that he's up to the task. The Dolphins don't seem to buy into any notion of limiting Achane's workload in a likely rebuilding year, though it's possible the tune changes as the season progresses, and the wins prove elusive, or he gets banged up. 40 touches a game. Did I read that? I mean, those are your 2 right there, right now. Cook and Achane. Oh, it's good water. Right now, Cook in the passing game and Achane with 40 carries, fucking 40 touches a game. Those are the 2 guys to beat. Saquon Barkley. Jeremy Fowler reports that Barkley's been advocating for more plays to be run under center. Barkley's most productive campaign on the ground came in 2024, his first year with the Eagles, when he turned 345 carries into 2,005 yards and 13 touchdowns across 16 regular season games. However, he saw his output dip significantly last year, averaging 4.1 yards per carry, 1,440 yards and 7 scores in 16 regular season contests. Having the offense run under center for most So more often, rather than out of the shotgun formation, would allow the veteran running back to survey the defense more clearly and set up big games. He logged only 7 runs of 20-plus yards and 3 runs of 40-plus yards last year, compared to 17 runs of 20-plus yards and 7 runs of 40-plus yards in 2024. So again, that's an interesting card. Barkley's most productive campaign on the ground. That's why he's pushing. He wants to run under center. Are they going to do it? Advocating. He's advocating, which means if it came down to these 3 running backs, he'd be the odd man out because he's advocating, whereas they said this motherfucker's getting the ball 40 times a game. And they said here they're putting this motherfucker in the passing game. Do we have to look at anybody else? Yeah. For a possible flex, let's look at somebody else. But Barkley's advocating. I'm not getting tricked into that. Let's go fucking advocate. Omarion Hampton. The hot hand approach. We read this. The hot potato approach. Which means you don't know who's getting that fucking ball. Derrick Henry. Henry is expected his normal workload this season, but will also be involved in the passing game. Henry's logged the 280-plus carries in 6 of the last 7 seasons, with the exception being 2021 with the Titans when he was limited to 219 carries in 8 regular season games due to a foot injury. He's routinely seen some of the highest usage among running backs the last few years, and that trend doesn't look like it's going to change in 2026 with the new offensive coordinator, Declan Doyle, who oversaw Chicago's 3rd-ranked roughing attack this year. Play calling for Henry may look different, however. The veteran running back has seen more design runs to the perimeter during training camp, and he's also expected to see more work as a pass catcher. He's the unquestioned bell cow for the Ravens, forming a lethal 1-2 punch with Lamar Jackson, with Justice Hill, Rashid Ali, and rookie 5th rounder Adam Randall providing depth. See, that problem is it feels like Henry and James Cook might be canceling each other out. Because they said these are similar cards. So they lose a little bit of uniqueness when it says, hey, we're going to get James Cook in the passing game. And Derrick Henry is going to get involved in the passing game. Both are going up against red defenses. Whereas Devin Shane is going up against the 21st ranked defense. I'm going to go crazy contrarian. I'm literally going to have Derrick Henry and fucking James Cook cancel each other out. The cards are too similar. It scares me off. Whereas Devin Shane is definitely still in there right now. Because, again, he's going against a middling defense. And they're saying 40 touches a game. Ashton Gianti. Coach Clint Kubiak said Tuesday that the Raiders starters, a group that would include Gianti, are in line to play in Thursday's preseason opener against the Cardinals. It remains to be seen how much work Gianti is in store for versus the Cardinals. But once he gets his reps, his backups will presumably see plenty of action. As the coming campaign approaches, Gianti is positioned for a high-volume role in the Las Vegas offense. One that can include more work in the passing game. God damn it. Currently backing up Gianti are Mike Washington, Dylan Lube. So when they say that shit, we're going to put you in the passing game, it creates that repetition. Makes me believe I'm not getting genuinely interesting recon. You're just rehashing shit. There's a lot of recon today. Look at all this shit. That's fucking wild. Jeremiah Love is slated to suit up for Thursday's preseason game in Las Vegas. While rookie 3rd-round pick Carson Beck played quarterback for over the first half of Thursday's Hall of Fame game against the Panthers, Love was kept on the sideline with the rest of the Cardinal starters. Considering Love was the 3rd overall pick in this year's draft, the high standing comes as no surprise. But Coach Mike LaFleur relayed Tuesday that the first-team offense will play 1 or 2 drives Thursday. Boring. And they just talk about preseason, it's boring. Josh Jacobs. Coach Matt LaFleur said Tuesday that Jacobs will be out for at least this week, according to the Packers' official site. Jacobs initially was held out of practice last Thursday. So this essentially confirms that his absence will stretch to at least a week and a half. He won't play in Green Bay's preseason opener versus Thursday against Pittsburgh. And it'll be surprising to see Jacobs in the lineup a week later versus Denver. The Packers recently got Chris Brooks back from the NFL list, joining Marshawn Lloyd, Pierre Strong, Damian Marquez, and Jaden Nixon in the backfield. Lloyd is the current favorite for the number 2 job behind Jacobs, who dealt with nagging injuries throughout much of last year. Oh, good God. It's not good. Get Green Bay the fuck out of there. Breece Hall. Hall is expected to be featured more prominently as the Jets lead back this season. Hall signed a 3-year, $45 million contract with the Jets in May, and it now appears the 25-year-old's offensive snap share will go up to in his 5th campaign with the team. The running back's usage peaked at 67% of shares, offensive snaps, in 2024 before dropping down to 61% in 2025. With the heightened expectations for Hall, Braylon Allen is set to operate as the clear number 2 option, while Isaiah Davis will play third fiddle in the backfield this year. Heightened expectations. Offensive snap share will go up. Just got signed. They invested a lot of money. All right, you got to keep him on here. Breece stays. Right now, that's our 2 right there. Breece Hall, Devin Achane. It's the rest of these running back jobs to eliminate one of these 2 guys. One or both. DeAndre Swift has been one of the brightest stars of training camp for the Bears. Swift broke off a 62-yard touchdown in Tuesday's practice and also trucked a defender on the run to the outside. I'm excited for him. Selfishly, he helps everybody in that field when he can go and be the special back that he is, whether it's passing or short yardage or running downhill. I'm excited for him. I think he's going to have a great year. Swift rushed for a career-high 1,087 yards and 9 touchdowns and 223 carries across 16 regular games last year and should head into 2026 as the clear lead back in Chicago, ahead of Kyle Monangi. The scoring upside of the Chicago offense has Swift on the fantasy RB2 map. The scoring upside of the Chicago offense has Swift. They do score a lot of fucking points. And look at that. Look at that. In the green against the fucking Panthers. Oh, I don't want to pick him yet. Could Swift be the guy over Shane or Breece Hall? Or both? Breece Hall they invested money in Breece Hall. Devin and Shane, they're promising you 40 touches a fucking game. I still love that. Any notion of limiting his workload in a likely rebuilding year? I just need you to show up against fucking the Raiders, buddy. Jets have playing Robert Saleh, their former coach. Maybe he knows a few things, maybe. Dropping down. Braylon Allen. Set to be featured more prominently. All right, we still got it. Don't have to eliminate him yet. This is the process. David Montgomery caught an 80-yard touchdown on a wheel route in Tuesday's practice. It was the biggest play of training camp to date. According to BNME, and it's further proof the Texans are serious about getting Montgomery involved in the passing game after he has used more of a thunder to Jahmyr Gibbs' lightning in Detroit. Montgomery has shown in the past that he's more than capable of making plays as a receiver, catching 54 passes in 2020 with the Bears and has secured 36 of 38 targets for 341 yards in 2024 with the Lions. While Woody Marks will have some role on passing downs, Montgomery is expected to open the season as the clear number 1 in Houston. And he's running against Buffalo, and you can run on fucking Buffalo. You could run the goddamn ball on the Buffalo Bills. Is it Swift and Montgomery? Do we eliminate Shane and Hall? Right now, I'm loving all 4 of these guys. But let's keep going until we got nothing left here. Travis Etienne and Alvin Kamara are listed as co-running back 1s. That's all I need to know. Fuck off. Co-running back 1s. Nope, no splits. Layshaw Tootin. And Chris Rodriguez co-starters. See, again, I get it. Don't have to finish it. Good for you, kid. Preserve yourself. Bucky Irving. Irving has impressed new offensive coordinator Zach Robinson throughout training camp. Irving is coming off an injury-riddled sophomore campaign in 2025, being limited to just 10 regular season contests. The running back compiled 588 rushing yards on one touchdown over 173 carries, which was rather disappointing after he registered 1,100 yards and 8 scores on 207 touches in 2024. He was also able to secure 30 catches for 277 yards last year, including 3 receiving scores of his career. Robinson, first 3 receiving scores of his career. Robinson has been impressed by Irving's ability to stay connected to the ground, allowing him to leave defenders in the dust. He's always able to change direction, and that keeps him so balanced to be able to break tackles. The OC spent the last 2 seasons calling plays for Atlanta's superstar running back Bijan Robinson, and Irving will look to elevate his performance within the system. Injury-riddled campaign, though. Disappointing. We don't like negative words, but they are going. Oh, God, you're going up against Cincinnati, though. He's always able to change direction. The OC spent the last 2 seasons calling plays for Atlanta's superstar. Yeah, they're giving you these little hints like, dude, take the fucking hint. 32nd ranked D. I'm thinking Montgomery and Irving right now, and fuck these other 3. But we still got here. Tony Pollard found pay dirt at the Titans joint practice with the Niners on Tuesday. Pollard was able to reel in a touchdown through the air from Cam Ward to the team's red zone period against San Francisco. The running back is set to face some added competition in the backfield this season after Tennessee selected Nicholas Singleton in the 5th round of this year's draft, while Tyjae Spears is looking to put together his first healthy campaign since his rookie year in 2023. Pollard has been a little bit of an Iron Man in his NFL career, missing just a handful of regular season team tests over the last 5 years. But the 29-year-old has seen his receiving production drop in each of the last 3 years, and he can find himself on the sidelines more often in passing. Yeah, fuck off. Fuck off. All right. Irving and Montgomery, that's what I liked right now. Judkins, what do you got? Judkins is expected to take on a larger role in the passing game. It's all, yeah, they start with the fucking passing game. It's the same red herring. I don't even need to finish it, Judkins. Chuba Hubbard, what do you got? Hubbard appears likely to operate in a committee with third-year pro Jonathan Brooks, again with the fucking committees. Jordan Mason, old news. Rashad White, Ja'Cory Cross, Mary here. That's another one of 1 and 2 position shit bullshit there. So what do we got? Jalen Warren, nothing on Pittsburgh. Kenny Gainwell, who's backing up Irving. But they didn't mention Gainwell as a 1-2 thing, so I'm going to play that up. Especially because you're going up against Cincinnati. Manangi, they talked about Houston. So we're here. Miami. Let's get rid of a Shane. I'm thinking we're going Montgomery and fucking Irving here. I want to go against Buffalo. Montgomery and Irving. That's just it's a lethal combo because it's very contrarian. I like it. All right. Put all the everybody back in. Let's get some receivers. And we can always come back for the other running backs. We have a flex spot. If we can afford it. Who's the other guy we liked? Judkins. Who even knows anymore? All right, do we have everybody? Let's get some receivers. Let's get some looking receivers. All right, so David Montgomery and Bucky Irving. That's what we liked. Jamar Chase. And other starters are expected to play in Thursday's preseason. Oh, fuck off already with the preseason bullshit. Read it. Just be safe. Just fucking read it. Bengals coach Zach Taylor also said quarterback Joe Burrow and wide receiver T. Higgins will play. In the past 2 preseason games, Burrow played a total gives a shit. Fucking hate preseason. Just start the fucking season. Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is new. Is the top option in a wide receiver room that the Lions head coach Dan Campbell described as best it's ever been in camp since Campbell's arrival in 2021. St. Brown's entering his 6th season with Detroit, and he just notched his 4th straight campaign with over 1,100 receiving yards. The 26-year-old is 117 of a career high, 172 targets for 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns over 17 regular season contests in 2025. Jameson Williams has come into his own in a prolific big play threat, opening the field up for St. Brown in the middle of the field. Additionally, Detroit has high hopes for second-year wideouts Isaac Tesla and free agent addition Greg Dortch. Having an impressive group of wide receivers around St. Brown could prove to benefit the 26-year-old, allowing him to see higher quality targets in the year 1 under new offensive coordinator Drew Fatzing. Fatzajek. That's a great card. It's a great fucking card. That's our number 1 right now. We're trying to see if we can get 3 number 1 receivers, if it's possible. Right now, we won't have motherfucker. Justin Jefferson and newly named quarterback Kyler Murray have been starting a click at practice. Jefferson will be working with a new starting quarterback for the 4th season in a row, after Minnesota named offseason addition Kyler Murray as their starter on Tuesday. The 2 players connected on a handful of big plays in practice Wednesday, including a gain of roughly 35 yards on a deep post. Jefferson is coming off a down year, during which he caught 84 of 141 targets for 1,000 yards and 2 touchdowns, both of which were career lows, over 17 regular season contests while working with J.J. McCarthy. Carson Wentz and Mac Broom at quarterback. Now with the expectation of more stability and Murray under center, the 27-year-old speedster receiver is likely to get back on track. Murray also seems to understand the most important aspect of being a member of the Vikings. Get Jefferson the ball as much as possible. Easy. Fucking cheesy. Get out. We got some new recon on Mr. Nico Collins. Has been in top form at practice ahead of the 2026 campaign. Collins took a bit of a step back in 2025, catching 71 of a career-high 120 targets for 1,117 yards and 6 scores over 15 regular season contests. On the surface, it certainly appears to have been another impressive campaign, which it was, when his 4.7 receptions per game, 74.5 yards per contest, and 6 scores were the wide receiver's lowest. Quarterback C.J. Stroud had a down year as well, and if he can get back on track this season, Collins will reap the benefits most substantially. The wideout made a series of impressive plays at practice Tuesday, connecting with Stroud on a handful of occasions. Collins is still considered to be a fantasy wide receiver 1 option in 2028, and he appears to be on track to hit the ground running week 1 against Buffalo. Hit the ground running. Playing my guys. It could be a nice bring back. We already got David Montgomery. So it's something to think about. We're going to keep Nico there. Again, because it's Josh Allen. I get a Josh Allen shootout, get a bring back action. You never know. Olave, we read already. So let's get rid of him. Devontae Smith isn't participating in Tuesday's practice. Though Smith will sit out his 5th consecutive practice, he appears to be making strides in his recovery from hamstring injury. Smith was spotted doing some running on the field prior to Tuesday's session, which he hadn't done in advance of any of the previous 4 practices. The Eagles continue to view the hamstring issue as a short-term concern and appear to be playing it safe, With the number one wideout. That's boring. Boring. Mm-mm-mm. Drake London. Nothing new there. Zay Flowers. We got some Q tags. Zay Flowers will take part in Tuesday's practice. Flowers could be in store for limited rep Tuesday as he exited Sunday's session due to a left quad contusion. I read this. Sheep. We like Nico. Amiga Egbuka suffered a sprained toe. During Wednesday's practice and testing will determine the severity of the injury. Egbuka limped off the practice field Wednesday after getting rolled up by a teammate. But Mike Garafolo of NFL Network reported that the issue is considered to be minor. Upcoming imaging could change that tune, but Egbuka now seems destined to miss Friday's preseason game at the Jets along with Baker Mayfield, who is healthy but will not play in the contest. Ay. Dangerous people. Tampa Bay, who will we taking? Because we weren't able to take somebody else there. Not Godwin. It was a TV show. I think it was Curb Your Enthusiasm. Anyway, no Tampa Bay. Jameson's with Monron. Nothing new there. Green Bay, Watson. Everybody's banged up, so nothing there. McConkey. Nothing there with him. Garrett Wilson. Nothing new there. Washington. We've read about McLaurin and Diggs. Diggs could be interesting. Where's Diggs? That's it. No new recon. The same bullshit. Here we go. Slated to sign a one-year deal with the one-year, $12 million contract with the Commanders. Diggs helped pace the Patriots' fourth-ranked passed offense in 2025, reeling in 85 of 102 targets for 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns in 17 regular season contests. New England released him at the start of the new league year in March, and after legal issues were settled in May, the NFL closed its review of potential violations of the personal conduct policy in June. Wide receiver needy teams and the Commanders have been tied to him. With Washington firmly coming to terms with Diggs, he'll join Terry McLaurin at the top of the wide receiver core for quarterback Jaden Daniels. All right. That's all right. Where are we? Who we just read? McLaurin, and then we went down and read Diggs. Sorry about that. Ted McMillan. Did we get rid of? I don't know. Why did we read? Because we thought we were reading McLaurin, reading McMillan. All right, get rid of McLaurin. Ted McMillan. What do we got? Coach Dave Canales said Wednesday that McMillan got bigger and stronger in the offseason, which has been apparent on the practice field and training camp. In particular, McMillan got a double move on Mike Jackson at Wednesday's practice, creating more separation than he would have previously after beating Jackson off the line before gathering a touchdown from Bryce Young. At the line of scrimmage, McMillan just really hasn't had an issue this camp. Getting off the line, I think he's really translating all the work he did in the offseason. McMillan again is expected to serve as the top pass catcher in the Panthers offense this offseason after a 2025 rookie campaign in which he posted a 71,007 line on 122 targets in 17 regular season games. It's the kind of shit you want to read. Guys like Ted. Jameson Williams, Alex Pierce. Anything new there? General Manager Chris Ballard said Tuesday, we read this. We read it. NC. Definitely got to go to bed after this one. We'll see. Maybe we'll make our little Patriot lineups. We like Ted. Right now, this is our trio. St. Brown, Collins, and fucking Ted, if we can fit it. DJ Moore, they talked about him with Josh Allen there. But there's no recon. Parker Washington, Brian Thomas. Maybes. Jameson Williams, not really. Luther Bird, we know he's banged up. So fuck him. DK Metcalf. Managing an unspecified. Fuck off. Should we give Luther Bird III a chance for a second here? Hopefully ready by the start. Fuck off. Hopefully he's ready. All right, DK Metcalf, get rid of Pittsburgh. Tate, we already read. Let's get rid of Tate. And all that comes with him. Nothing new with Wilson or Harrison. So ditch Arizona. Jalen Coker, we like McMillan. Casey Concepcion, this is old news. Coker, Higgins, Washington. Malik Washington, nothing really on Malik Washington. Isaac Tesla, Trucker, Tank Dell. Let's hear about good old Tank Dell. Participated in full team drills Monday. Dell practiced in pads last week for the first time since injuring his knee, and after initially being limited in individual drills, he has advanced to teamwork. His status for week 1 remains uncertain, but if he can avoid any setbacks, there's reason to believe he'll be out there when the regular season gets underway. Xavier Leggett. Coach Dave Canales highlighted Leggett on Wednesday for having a strong training camp. Really good to see him back out there playing like himself. Playing fast, just knowing where to be, he's doing a phenomenal job. He's the guy we're counting on this season. He looks explosive. And then what I've seen him do, just make great plays on the boundary. Back at the end zone, just some of those facial plays where he can go attack the ball. Find a way to get his feet down. And he's readily attacked as part of his game, and that's something we've... Oh, God damn it, they just keep rambling. We're taking fucking Tet. We have nobody with Vegas. Oh, there he is, Jalen Naylor. Nothing new on Jalen Naylor. Okay, Carolina, we like Ted. That's it. Down to 3 teams. Fuck yes. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, Ted McMillan. Would Nico be expendable? So now let's get everybody back in. Let's get a tight end because now I'm going to fucking pass out. I thought I could get my Seahawks lineups in. We'll do that tomorrow. Deuce, LaRouche, LaRouche, LaRouche. I like this team. Josh Allen, David Montgomery, Bucket Irving, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, Ted McMillan. Now we just need a fucking tight end. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of recon, so we're probably going to make this one fast. Nothing new on Bowers. Nothing on McBride. Nothing on Loveland. Nothing on Ty Warren. Nothing on Pitts. Nothing on Kincaid. We got Tucker Craft. What do we got, Tucker? What up, Mr. Viking? Ran routes in air in full pads. We read this. It's nothing new. Nothing on Detroit. Nothing on Cleveland. Nothing on Philly. She is not bending. Nothing on Baltimore. Kenyon Sadiq, we got some recon. Isn't practicing Tuesday, but he's improved enough to jog on the sidelines while observing practice. Jets coach Aaron Glenn said last week that Sadiq has suffered a setback in his recovery, but that the rookie was still expected to be ready for week 1. Coming back from hernia surgery this spring, Sadiq has missed much of the offseason program and all of training camp, making him difficult to earn with significant week 1. Oh, fuck off. He nonetheless figures to contribute in some fashion this season if the Jets drafted him 16th overall. Mason Taylor will continue to draw first-team reps until Sadiq is cleared to practice. So that could be a wild one. Again, we take Mason Taylor all the way down here. It's not the dumbest idea. Get rid of anybody behind her. Kate Otten, old school. Greg Dulcich. This old news. Full participant, red non-contact jersey, lack of proven playmakers. We read all this. He pays the offense. Dulcich could be the good arrogant pick, but I think all signs are pointing to grabbing Mason Taylor. So I'm not just going to grab Dulcich to grab. Okay, so Gadsden, Dalton Schultz, Fryer move. Hawkinson. Helm. Gizicki. Tremble. And there he is. Go contrarian, my friend. Mason fucking Taylor. Leaving me 5,900. In the flex for Travis Etienne, Christian Watson, Blasial Tootin, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore. I can handcuff DJ Moore right to Josh Allen. My 50-yard bomb. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. With $300 left over, go for a better defense if I wanted to. We can go Commanders versus Philly. You definitely want to take Detroit. We could take the Browns versus the Jaguars. Again, coming off his favorite season there. Keep with the Cardinals. Fuck it. Leave 300 on the table. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Allen, David Montgomery, Bucky Irving, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, Ted McMillan, Mason Taylor, DJ Moore, Cardinals D. May fate decide your fortune if you should win. Blow your money right here on the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Peace, love, and war. All that shit in between.